Hello, combatants. It's good to have you back, and we're excited to have you here today. It's always a great feeling to have our dear friends return and express their indelible support. If you're running into this episode and happen to be new around here, welcome to the club. If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you've come to the right place, my friend. Do us a kind favor by spreading the word to your friends and clicking that follow or subscribe button. When it comes to today's special, joined with us is the astonishing Dana He. Dana has been involved with the classic Mortal Kombat films since the very beginning, doing a lot of the stunt work, famously playing Mileena in Annihilation, and taking on the recurring role of one of Quan Chi's deadly assassins, Sion, in Threshold's TV series Mortal Kombat Conquest. Dana has a past full of experience, and we're thrilled to show you more about that with this particular special. With those words being said, let's leap over to today's interview. Okay, everyone, the interview begins now. We are accompanied by the magnificent Dana He. This is something Kamidogu has been looking forward to for a long time. Welcome to the show, Dana, and before we start, I'd like to say thank you kindly for appearing on today's episode.
You're very, very welcome, and I'm happy to be here. Always happy to talk about Mortal Kombat or other movies. It's been a blast. A good 20 years in the film business.
Yeah, it's been quite the experience, I'm sure. So, Dana, you're actually an Olympic gold medalist for full contact fighting and Taekwondo. To kick off this interview, enlighten our audiences on these type of experiences along with your diverse background in martial arts.
Well, let's see. So I'm actually wearing my red, white, and blue. Just for the occasion. I try to get in the spirit whenever I can, because the opportunities are few and far between, but it's something that you never want to forget. I trained for 2.5 years to make the Olympic team, which seems like a very short time, but I trained my butt off. I started out like 4 or 5 hours a day, then ended up 6 to 8, and then it was like 10 hours a day. And it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's something.
And I had a lot of injuries as a result, and trying to overtraining and stuff like that. So I would be like in the ice whirlpool, like after workouts, sitting in there, like trying to get my muscles to heal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Now, I believe that you were Talisa Soto's stunt double in the 1995 movie. Is that correct?
That is correct. I played the character Mileena. I stunt double.
Oh, and Annihilation,
Jade.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Annihilation. So no. So that was the only one that I did Talisa Soto. So Annihilation was Katana, Jade, and Sindel. In addition to playing Mileena.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, it was fun, especially doing the fan work for Talisa Soto. The fans were like, I can't see it on the screen, but they were huge, and they were made of heavy metal. And I'm thinking, who the heck designed this? I mean, you're trying to maneuver like, with 2 fans spread out that are like, twice the width of my shoulders. And I'm like, holy jeez. And then you're like supposed to click them open and then close them up again. And it was funny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember you saying they were made of full metal, so they were just incredibly heavy and sort of awkward to use, right?
Extremely. Yeah, there's no way that Talisa could have done that. Yeah, it would have been tough.
It takes a certain person.
Someone that gets paid money for it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so tell us a little bit about the auditioning process for Annihilation in '97, as well as just how easy, probably, it was to audition for Conquest.
Okay, well, it started out with the first Mortal Kombat movie, and I actually got hired to train the actress Sandra Hess. Um, oh wait, I'm sorry, that was Bridget Wilson.
Oh,
Bridget Wilson, and so
yeah, Bridget Wilson.
I worked on, yeah, I worked on that film, training her for martial arts, and then I did a couple moves for her before they headed to Thailand, but all the rest was her. I mean, she studied well. You
Wow.
know, the fights could have been better. We could have had a little more pizzazz to them, but I thought she did
Sure.
really well overall. Yeah.
Considering she was sort of thrown in there, from my understanding, rather last minute. I have a question for you. Did you also train Cameron Diaz for a little while?
Yes, yes, on Charlie's Angels. But
Oh, I tried his Angels.
most of that on Charlie's Angels. But most of that training was actually done by the Hong Kong crew that we had. Um, we trained also stunt people. We trained on the side, and then the actresses trained separately. They had that many people, and
Wow.
she did a phenomenal job. I was really amazed at her athletic ability.
Because Cameron Diaz was actually cast as Sonya Blade originally, until she broke her wrist, and then they had to replace her with Bridget Wilson.
Yes, yes, good memory. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, darn. I kind of wish it was Cameron. Sorry, Bridget, but
Oh man, there you have it,
Cameron's a
folks.
sweetheart. Cameron's a sweetheart to work with. We've done quite a few movies.
Wonderful. So Sandra Hess, who played Sonya in Annihilation, has stated before that her most unpleasant experience during the movie may have been the Melina fight scene, because it was so intensely cold and uncomfortable doing the ordeal. Was this moment also really challenging for you, Dana? What would you say was your least and most favorite fight to do in all these projects?
Oh wow! And all the projects you're running up against Mortal Kombat Conquest TV series, and those were the best.
Yes.
Those
Yes, thank
because
you.
it took martial artists who were real martial artists who had real skills, and then they said, "Hey, what are you good at? Let's throw that in the fight." I mean, that's unheard of in our business. Normally, you arrive on set, it's all choreographed. Doesn't matter what you're good at, what you're not good at. So the fights in Mortal Kombat Conquest were the most fun overall. But you know, they're all fun. And the fight with Bridget Wilson, I mean with Sandra Hess, that was in a hurricane in Wales in the mud, and so we were freezing our butts off. Meanwhile, our director's standing over there, Larry Kazanoff, in full Arctic gear. We're like,
He would, he would.
this is that's not fair, man.
Oh.
So, but we made it through.
Yeah, how long would you estimate that took?
Oh wow. Oh, that's a tough one, but maybe almost all day. Yeah,
Okay.
at least
Wow.
a good 5 hours. Yeah, because we're dealing with mud and you know you have to have a lot of retakes and let's see. Then I accidentally broke the stunt double's nose for Sandra Hess. we I was doing a push kick from the rock to a hook kick across her face.
Yeah.
And they kept telling her she was inexperienced. and they kept telling her, just get closer, and I'm like, no, don't get closer. And she did, and she just stuck her face right smack in the middle of my foot, and oh, I felt so
Oh,
bad. I
oh,
felt really
these
bad.
things happen though, but yeah, I bet.
Yeah, they do.
Not only were you uh, Melina in Annihilation, but yes, as you said, you filled in for Talissa during her action scenes. Did you have any like major mistakes or injuries while wielding the fan, though?
Actually, no.
Oh,
No,
that's good.
somehow managed to get her done, and when you're under pressure, and you got the cameras rolling, you do whatever it takes to get the shot.
Yeah. Uh, Here at Kamidoku, we've heard of some very hilarious bloopers that had occurred behind the scenes. Are there any humorous
Oh, yeah.
memories you have during the making of Mortal Kombat, whether it's the movies or TV shows?
Wow. No, I have a really good one from The Long Kiss Goodnight. That's another.
Go for it.
Okay. So they hired me because I'm an Olympic athlete, Olympic gold medalist, and they're just assuming that I'm very athletic, which I thought I was. But my boss kept telling me, practice going over a 3-foot fence. And in my neighborhood in Studio City, I couldn't find a 3-foot fence. And it just seemed weird going through the neighbors' yards, hopping their fences, the ones that did have them. So I just thought, oh, I'm an athlete. I used to be a high jumper. I can do this. We get to set. I have shoes that are 3 sizes too large. They're slippery
Oh
soled.
no.
They're booted, and meanwhile, my action is to come down a hill, around a tight corner, run and jump the bush. And every time I came around the corner, I slid out. And then when I went to jump, yeah, and then when I went to jump the bush, I just couldn't get the flight. I had a heavy rifle and skates in my hand, so I just couldn't get the lift. And so I kept brushing the brush, and the director looks at me like, "So what's the problem?" And he goes over and he vaults over the fence. Now the guy's like 6'7". I mean, I mean that was no comparison at all.
Yeah.
and then another time that we were practicing, I actually took off on the wrong foot and landed straddle-legged across the fence. And as you can imagine, that hurt like heck.
Absolutely.
And the entire crew was laughing. They were like snickering behind there.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
some Olympic athlete we have here.
Yeah, that's something you'll never forget, Dana.
No, no, I have a book called My Dirty Laundry, and it's definitely going to be in there.
Fantastic. You're on file to say that you still own Sion's costume from Conquest. Did you happen to keep anything from the films when you worked on those? Maybe you got lucky enough to have Melina's size or anything like that?
The size I actually gave to a friend of mine not too long ago. She was just all enthralled. She was all enthralled with them, and so I'm like, "Well, here." And then I had a Chinese rope dart that I gave her from Charlie's Angels. That was really cool. It was a real dart. I mean, heavy metal. That if you hit someone with it, it would knock them out or take out their eye. And
Sure.
but yeah, no. As far as costumes, unfortunately, I lost the Melina one. I don't know what happened to it. It went SOL. Yeah, and I'm sorry, that was the Sion one, and the Melina one
the
I never
Sion
had.
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I had the Sion one, the black bustier and black skirt, and I don't know what happened to it, and boy, I haven't seen the Melina costume since I wore it. But that's okay. It wasn't one of the best costumes. I like
Straight up.
I like, I like the newer version. You know, the Mortal Kombat that came out, and the last one. What was it?
Oh,
In '07, I
2021's,
think.
yeah, Mortal Kombat film.
Oh, 2021. Holy jeez, I'm way behind the times. But yeah, no, I much enjoyed that version of Melina.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you
that
got a
was
kick out
fun.
of CC Stringer's performance as well? Did you enjoy her take?
I did. I did. I mean, it was just really gross, the face.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great addition. And then the fight at the very, very beginning, um, uh,
Oh, with,
Hiroshio and the Japanese guy and the
yes.
Chinese guy, it was great. That was so cool.
That was actually my favorite fight scene of the whole movie, was the first one.
Exactly. Well, yeah, mine too.
Yes.
Hmm.
Now, there was supposed to be a third Mortal Kombat movie released after Annihilation originally. Chris Casamassa and Adani Maropis have even confirmed that they were supposed to be in it and have also read the script. Out of curiosity, were you also attached to this film, Dana?
Um, it, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but and that was a fairly quickly talked about possibility, and it never came to fruition.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they were considering me or not. Yeah,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
there was talk about that we were going to do it. Um, I thought meant me too, but who knows? uh, but it just never rolled around. And with the
Yeah, it's
pandemic,
really too bad.
with pandemic things changed a lot. A lot of movies didn't get made. Um, yeah, you just never know.
You shared a lot of screen time on Conquest with Adani Maropis, Renee Tennyson, and the very successful Jamie Presley. Do you have any fond memories or stories when it comes to working with them?
I found it interesting working with women. Okay, most of my life, 20 years, I've worked with guys. I mean, usually I'm the stunt double for the lead actress. And then all the rest of the spots generally are filled up with guys. There's very few roles that are given to women. And so anyway, so it was one of the first times, not the first time, but one of the first times that I was actually working with a triage, of girls. And,
Yep.
and it's fascinating how you learn to start positioning yourself so that you get seen by the camera, or that your scene is, better than maybe theirs, or, and if they say something, then hopefully I say something better. And that
Sure.
comes down to editing. So I have my edited version online, but there's some verbiage cut out, so it sounds like I'm in control, I am in power. It's
I love it.
it's all bullshit. But in real life,
Um,
I wish it was. In real life, I wish it was, me, I'm in power or whatever. But no, that scene belonged to our beautiful blonde lady. It's so famous.
I thought you all three of yous were great. It worked out wonderfully, and Adani was just phenomenal as Quan Chi. Do you have any funny memories or anything like that with him on set?
Just his makeup. I mean, just look at him up close, and you're like going, "Okay, Uncle
Oh,
Kowtow, Kowtow,"
it's a lot.
and
It's a lot.
and that voice that he has is great. There's that scene
Yes.
where Quan Chi is talking, and myself and What's the black lady's name? Oh, I forget her name. My antagonist.
Oh, Sora.
She Sora. Yes, thank you. So Sora's like, mumbling off to me some words or something, and I go and grab her by the neck. And so meanwhile, Quan Chi is like, talking away and stuff, and he's like, "All right, you girls, behave."
Yeah, it was great. Did you ever have any fun outings with the cast?
Oh yes, all the time. Yeah, we stayed at the beautiful Disney World studio. There's a studio right behind Disney World. It's a huge studio, and there's tons of places to film in Florida, in Orlando. And so we spent a long time at the studio and in different locations out and about. When we had time off, we would all get together for dinner or for an outing or something. And so, yeah, it was a pretty tight group because we constantly had the top martial artists coming in and leaving, coming in and leaving, coming in and leaving. And so it was this great base of just knowledge and spirituality, and it was really cool.
Yeah, when we had Larry Kasnoff on the show, he said specifically that if there was a person halfway across the world who could do a certain move or a certain flip better than somebody else, he would send them in. It was absolutely incredible.
Yes. He really, really hunted. He had audition after audition after audition in Santa Monica area looking for the best of the best. And so literally on the TV series, we did have the best. The funny thing is a lot of tall, thin girls aren't very athletic. So my job was I played Melina. I stunt doubled Taja, the main character. And then I stunt doubled probably 5 or 6 of the other girls because they're just tall, thin girls who don't really do much. So they look pretty. They look pretty. I give them that. And I thought their acting.
One of my favorite. Yes. One of my favorite fight scenes for MK Conquest took place in the episode Flawed Victory. It's Sion versus Zero and Taja. Tell us a little bit about some of these ambitious fights and a few of the great challenges that you faced while performing these.
Now, wasn't that also with Kung Lao?
Yes, it was Kung Lao versus the three.
The 3 girls, right. It was a big fight, yeah. That was a blast. Obviously as 3 girls, you're kind of mixing and matching. One girl goes in, one girl goes out, and you do X moves, and then it came down to the very end where it was me and Kung Lao, and so I do this move like a ridge hand, and I flip him, and then I come down with a knife, and I'm right there, right at his throat, with the knife. And then I forget what happens.
I think it was Taja who attacks you from behind, and then you get up, and then the 3 of you run away.
Good job. Thank you.
Yeah.
You don't remember everything. Too many hits to the head.
Well, to be fair, I'm an MK Conquest fanatic. That is my all-time favorite television show. So, I've watched it a million times.
Oh, cool. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, it was fun. It was just a blast to make. Yeah, when else do you have a chance to get together with some of the best in the world? That was pretty amazing.
Very true. Okay, so besides Sion, you said you were Taja in the show, Melina, but you can't quite remember any other names, eh? You just said you were sort of like a whole bunch of them.
I'm sorry, which show?
Conquest.
Oh, okay, so Conquest, no, it was myself. I'm sorry, and it was Sion. Sion was my character name with the black bustier and the black shirt. And so then I stunt double Taja, played my character Sion. Oh, my apologies for that mix up. And then like five or six other girls, I couldn't tell you their names. Yeah,
Okay, but you said you also stunt doubled for Taja, though. I mean,
Oh, all the
correct?
time. Yeah.
Yeah,
There was one time
awesome.
where we needed a stunt double for Taja, and and my character was supposed to do a flip, and I don't. I can flip off of a mini tramp, but I don't flip normally. Just that's not my deal, and I'm not a gymnast, and so we had a stunt double for
Mm.
me and fighting Taja. So I was fighting.
Oh,
I was being Taja, and my friend was being me. No, that's a secret that no one knows.
I love it. MK Conquest is well known to have kept almost everything they shot in the final product. However, the movies might be a different story, especially in Annihilation, where they cut out heaps of stuff due to budgeting and time constraints. Can you recall any fight scene footage or any additional scenes that were meant to be much longer in the series but just didn't make the screen fully?
I don't recall them specifically because there were so many. There were so many between these characters and those characters and these characters, and so it was a lot to keep track of. Mostly, I noticed Robin Shu's fights got cut, so they weren't as
Oh,
good as that we had wanted them to be because a lot of those moves were cut. It happened with a lot of the
oh,
fights. A lot of some of the best moves were cut. I mean, we had a editor that I think wasn't a big martial art person. I have to say,
it's funny you
I
say
have to
that
say,
because yeah, it's funny you say that because Keith Cook, who played Reptile in the first film and Sub Zero in the second, when he was at, I forget the exact name of the place, Chinese Theater for an anniversary event, he said that
yes,
they actually cut out most of his Sub Zero versus Scorpion fight. And he was very disappointed
yes,
by that.
yes, that is true. That is true. Yeah, that fight went on
Yeah.
for. Well, I think we were filming it for 3 days. It was a long fight,
Wow.
and then with the ice bridge and everything else, right? Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
Oh, of
Uh,
course.
the effects and everything, and then we had wire work, and then yeah, it was crazy.
And also, in regards to the Melina fight scene in Annihilation, um, did they ever speak to you about doing some other stuff that didn't really make it through? Like, from what I understand, Melina was originally supposed to have her nasty, ugly teeth, but they decided against it, and she was supposed to wear contact lens, which made her look more like the Jarkon species she was. Is this true?
Yes. That I couldn't tell you. I do know that there was some talk about the face, and they decided for simplicity a mask.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, simple as that. But
Despite his popularity,
I do like the butterfly or whatever the dragon thing was on my shoulder that flew away. I thought that was cool.
yeah. Despite his popularity, Conquest unfortunately never went on to a season 2. I'm curious, were you eager at the time to possibly reprise your role had this new season come to fruition?
Oh, absolutely. Sion was the undead, so you can't kill her. So she's always going to be lurking around somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You must
Yeah,
have
there
been
was
pretty
a fight.
devastated when it got canceled.
Uh, Devastated, no, because that's the film business. You just roll with the
Fair enough.
punches. You just have to let it go and on to the next one. which I think was Charlie's Angels or something. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because you guys ended the show in '99.
Oh, I couldn't tell you
Probably
dates.
shortly thereafter. Yeah. Now, interestingly enough, there was actually a live-action web series well before the established Mortal Kombat Legacy. The series was called Mortal Kombat Federation of Martial Arts. I believe it consisted of about 55 episodes that were very short in duration, all relating to the continuity of Threshold's movies and Conquest. This show was directed by John Medlin, who played Ermac in Annihilation. Could you elaborate more on this particular show, how it was filmed, and of course, how it felt reprising the role of Sion?
Do you know what? I was completely out of the loop on that one, so I'm sorry. Uh, I can't give you the answers that you want. I heard about it from the peripheral and wasn't a part of it, and so didn't really know what was going on.
Oh wait, so they just used stock footage of you?
I imagine so. Yeah, because I remember seeing some. Yeah, yes, I remember seeing a fight actually going, hey, wait a second. How come I'm on there doing that when, I never filmed it? You're right. You're right. It was stock footage.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's strange. Yeah, a lot of actors or martial artists, I guess, technically reprised their role from stock footage. But I know that there was legitimately some new stuff filmed, like when Lynn Red Williams, who played Jax, he actually came back and did some new dialogue and stuff like this. Okay, so we can now confirm that it was just stock footage for you.
Yes. Yes, we can confirm that. Because I definitely did not do any of it. And I was going to say, wait a second, I said this fight before.
Dana, you're a motivational speaker and also a published author. What enticed you to head in this particular direction? And could you tell our audiences a bit about your books, such as Zero Fear and One Step Courage, the latter of which is also being turned into a film by Threshold Entertainment?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. Boy, you're privy to all kinds of information. Yes, we're doing a film. We're doing a film with the first part of my life. And from abandonment and abuse to being on the streets to having a dream in high school. My dream was to go, I was very good at track and field and the high jump. And my dream was to go to the Olympics as a high jumper. And so I was with a foster family and they encouraged my dream. And there was a Stanford University coach who wanted to pick me up and teach me and bring me through Stanford and help me become an Olympic gold medalist. But in the midst of it all, I freaked out. I had been so used to being stomped on and pushed down and never believing in myself and believing that I was worth anything. And that had been ingrained in my head since I was a little girl. And so for me to be able to turn around and then take this dream and make it come true in high jump, it freaked me out. I was like, what if I fail? What if I fail? I'll be devastated. And so I gave it up. One day I just turned and walked away from my coach, never said goodbye or thank you. And that really, really stuck in my heart, the fact that I was such a coward, for running away from something, from running away from a dream. So when Olympics were introduced into the Taekwondo world, and I had just placed second at my first nationals, it was like God hit me on the head and said, all right, you fool, what are you going to do? Here, I'm giving you a second chance. What are you going to do it? Are you going to take it? So what? So I basically drew the line in the sand and said, I'm going to fight for what I want. And what I want is that Olympic gold medal. And the rest is history. A long history. A lot of work.
That's absolutely astonishing. Me and everyone else were really looking forward to seeing that, Dana.
a long time ago, far, far away. Well, so it used to be that Taekwondo was a full contact fighting sport, and the best way to win was by knockout.
Mm.
Things have changed, and they've recreated the sport, and so it's a game of tag now. And there's all kinds of fancy kicks that they're doing and pulling out, the elephant kick and the scorpion kick and the this and that and the other and the flip kick and so hopefully it's hard to say what's going to happen, but in my film, I'm hoping to use some of those trickier kicks that are just like you going, wow, how did that happen?
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes. You were actually nominated for the World Taurus Award due to your fabulous work in Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. Aside from Mortal Kombat, I'm also a massive Terminator fan. Fill us in on how it was working on the crane sequence, as well as reuniting with Kristanna Loken.
Ah, very good, very good. Well, you have a lot of information right, but one thing wrong, and that is it was Charlie's Angels that I won the award for. But
Oh,
working on
interesting.
yes, for the very first Charlie's Angels, and they're going up in the plane and then falling from the plane and blah 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 blah.
Okay.
But for Terminator with Kristanna, it was a blast because I got to sit in this big, huge crane and act like I was doing everything when I wasn't doing shit. I mean, we had someone underneath we had someone underneath, blind driving, pretty much. Well, he wasn't really completely blind. But anyway, he almost ran into a lighting pole. And so we almost got electrocuted because there was this big, huge open thing that's it's supposed to be a window, but there's no glass, and so it's a good thing we didn't run into the lighting pole. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
was it
then
nice
I
seeing
got to see.
Kristanna again? I guess it was about 4 years after Conquest, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, it was so great to see that she had succeeded so well, because
Yeah.
we struggle so hard, as actors or stunt people or whatever it is in the film business. It's so tough. Um, it's like a cat, clawing its way up the walls, and then sliding down again. I mean, it's so tough. So to see someone make it, it really feels good. It feels like, wow, I know her.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Dana. We're now going to jump to the final segment of the show, and it is called
Final Round.
So what we're going to do for this final round is we're going to ask you some quick questions and try to get to know you a little more. So the first question is, what are some of your secret talents, or something most people don't know about you?
Tongues, like as in language.
Secret talents.
Oh, talents. Okay. Well, that reminds me. Languages are one of them. 你好吗?我很高兴。你说呀嘛。我没有说个菜。3个你好,1个男孩。 or 잘 못합니다. 日本語はほんの少ししか知りません. So I used to be fascinated with Asian language and culture, and especially with the martial arts. It just tied right in. And so I studied a lot, culturally and with languages, so I can read and write a little bit of Korean. And so when I get off the plane in Korea, I know how to say, go to the hotel or to the restaurant or to the wherever. So it's very handy, very handy. As far as other talents, strength has always been one, and also strength of mind. My ability to focus. My ability to focus has been a blessing and it's been a detriment, depending on what's happening in my life. But I'm like born near the ox, and I just tend to plod straight forward, and that that's what my book is all about. One Step with Courage. Is if you can take the first step with courage, then surely you can take the second and the third, because the first step is absolutely the hardest thing to do, especially if you've never done it before. And so it can be, overwhelming to think of getting an Olympic gold medal. How the heck am I'm nobody with no training, no real training, martial arts, for Taekwondo. How am I going to win a gold medal? And I did it step by step by step. And one step leads to the next and to the next. And the thing is, one step creates action. And what happens is when you have action, you have this inertia that's going. Have you ever seen one of those 6 balls that hang together, and you click one and then it clicks the next one?
Yes.
And have you ever seen that? Yeah, like a pendulum. And what happens is you set something in motion and things begin happening. You have no idea. Doors start opening or doors close. And so you maneuver. And so it all has to do with one step with courage.
Wow. Beautifully stated, Dana. Very, very, very good. So, what is the most daring thing you've ever done?
Well, that's debatable. I think barbed wire is right. I think barbed wire is right up there. Pamela Anderson, 5'5". I'm like 5'10". She's in a bustier, thigh-high fishnet stockings with thigh-high boots with stilettos like this. And I'm talking to the director who I worked with previously on Batman, and I'm like, how are we going to do this? I'm 5'10", she's 5'5", and she's like out to here, stacked, and not me. And so I'm like, what the heck? So anyway, we shade in, because all you see is skin. So we shade in all around here, and I wear the bustier, we pat it up and everything. And sure enough, we got away with it. You see me up on a crane, 100 feet in the air, going 360 degrees. Halfway I'm against concrete, halfway I'm against a channel of water. And I get kicked and I flip backwards off of the car. And if I had not caught every single time the edge of the window, there's a good chance that I could have hit the end of that cable that I was on and snapped it and fallen 100 feet to the ground or to the water. So
Whoa.
that and peace.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
I have a question for you. What are you most proud of?
Overcoming my fears. Because I used to be afraid of my own shadow. And I couldn't handle any type of conflict, argument, anything like that. And I learned to get through that and to face my fears and to overcome them, little by little by little by little. And so I'm a completely different person today than I used to be when I was married for 11 years. And I want much more. I wrote my book. I have 2 other books, My Dirty Laundry and The Fly in the Kitchen Window, that I still need to finish. And we have the movie coming out. And so I'm still ambitious. I still want.
Excellent. What would you say is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Don't let your mind tell you what you cannot do. So 9 times I grew up with my mind telling me I'm not good enough. I can't do this. This is impossible. You're feeding your brain all of this information, and it counteracts any type of positivity in your life. And so once you can stop that I use it an analogy of like the old fashioned fire bells or fire bells at schools where you would break the glass and you would pull the lever and all of a sudden this huge fire alarm goes off. I use that as an analogy of Dana, stop it. Stop right now and replace that negative thought with a positive one. That changed my life. That's what made me who I am today.
Powerful. Very powerful. What type of music do you enjoy?
All kinds. I even listen to Asian, Tibetan, Thai, Japanese, Chinese, Korean. I love watching foreign films. I love rock. I love definitely older rock. I'm a big fan now. I never get tired of it. And I love classic.
Classic.
I love the classics, Frank Sinatra and whatnot. They do something for me.
Yeah, understandably so. What was your very first job ever?
Undercover Blues with Kathleen Turner and Gina Davis. And I did more stunts on that film and got paid more money than any other show for such a short period of time. I made like 50 grand in 2 weeks. Did stuff like drops from helicopters into the mud, racing up and down greasy stairs of a mine shaft, racing a Jeep in a mine shaft thousands of feet beneath the earth. And you're like it's like dry ice and black ice. So you never know when you're going to be hitting something. You're on a drop off curve. So it was very, very dangerous. And then I fought Cheryl Wheeler, the late Cheryl Wheeler Duncan, and so we just went toe to toe. I mean, we were very well matched.
What is your guilty pleasure?
That's a good one. I'm very bad at pleasures for myself. I would say a good massage. Good massage.
Oh, okay.
That's right up.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, between that and jacuzzi, yeah.
And finally, what is one of the funniest things that has ever happened to you or something you'll just never forget?
Well, definitely striding that fence on the long kiss goodnight. Not only did I do it once, I did it twice. So I don't think it gets any more funny or embarrassing or anything other than that. I mean, making fun of yourself in front of the entire cast and crew, and the director going like this. This is my Olympic gold medalist. and then what's so sad is they didn't really put the rest of it in the film, which was me climbing up, like leaping on 7-foot fences, 5-foot fences, over them, over 3-foot fences. I did all this stuff over and over and over all day long, and they cut the majority of it to like 2 movies.
What?
I know. I was like, and I bruised the heel of my foot down to the bone, and landing from 7 feet up because I'm jumping up with a rifle and ice skates and everything else, and yeah. So I'll never forget that.
All right, Dana, we've come to the concluding point of this episode. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. But before we go today, is there anything at all that you'd like to promote at this time? And lastly, where can our listeners find you on social media?
I'm on Facebook, and that's the main thing. I'm supposed to be on Twitter and Instagram, but I just don't do much with it yet. As far as, I think my books, I would like to say, hey, you might want to take a look at that because it explains a lot. It explains how I went from ground zero to 60. How did I, no one, with no self-confidence or self-esteem, win an Olympic gold medal? So that's in One Step with Courage. And the book Zero Fear is actually a different version of One Step with Courage. It's a younger version. I didn't feel it appropriate to talk about much of my inner life and the suicides of my family and things like that to a young audience. So Zero Fear cuts that out. Yeah. And it's more about the positive and uplifting.
Good. Yes. So, again, yes, we appreciate your time, and we hope to connect with you again shortly, and looking forward to chatting with you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, friends, and that's a wrap for today's episode. We thank you all for the kind support towards the podcast, but we'd also like to implore you to support Dana by checking out her available books. In addition, make sure to keep an eye out for any future updates regarding the feature film about Dana's life story. Kamidogu is already looking forward to what's up ahead. Until next time, have fun, stay safe, and stay flawless.